What you do from there, you walk down the mountain, then you start to dig over, and then you finally start to dig up in this area here that's called a stope. But now when you're digging up, yeah, you have gravity working in your favor. So all that rock that you're chipping away at right here, that's gonna fall into your chute, into your car, take that mine car, and you just dump that right outside in that area there. That's called a mine tailing. But now once we're done with this whole entire first portion right here, you just repeat that process, walking down the mountain, digging over and digging up. Now, right now, we're standing in what's called the dry room. And once we get to the very end, we're gonna see exactly why it's called that. So on this diagram, we are about right here. And then today, we're gonna be going about 1,000 feet back, about right here. Now, once we get to that 1,000-foot mark, we're gonna see why we can't really progress any further. But now, I've worked here, I've had at least 7 different types of fungus and mushrooms. So just kind of keep your eyes out. You might be surprised at what you find growing down here. There's a ton of weird stuff. Like every single movie that you've ever seen in your whole entire life. Obviously, you can't just tape a piece of dynamite to a wall, light it, and expect anything to happen. You have to bore some holes in the wall first. And there's a couple different techniques they had to bore these holes. So now the first technique that these guys would use, this is real old school, very antiquated, was what's called a single jack technique. So this one is pretty straightforward. You're gonna have one person, one hammer, one bit. And this is your job. Now, full disclosure, guys, I have done this for the past 5.5 years. I've completely wrecked this hand. Can't use it anymore. So normally, every single time I hit this, I would do a quarter turn to the left with my left hand, and also would not be using a rubber mallet either, but pretend with me here, all right? So guys, this is your job for 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. And that is all you're doing. And I mean, like, mind-numbingly boring, am I right? Now to make things worse, you also have to remember, we're trying to get a 5-foot hole into this wall right here. But like seriously, come on, a 5-foot hole with a single jack technique going through granite. That's gonna take forever to accomplish. So they wised up, they found something a little bit more efficient, and they called that one the double jack technique. So, they were not the most creative with names, I know. But with that double jack technique, surprise, surprise, you are now gonna have 2 people. Didn't see that going, did you? Okay, so one is gonna be standing with this large bit right over his shoulder, just like this. And then his buddy, he's gonna be right behind his ear all day long, swinging this here sledgehammer. So yeah, we are just slamming away all day long, 10 hours a day, right behind your ear. So yeah, pretty fun, right? All right, sorry, I apologize. I've had a lot of caffeine today, guys. But I mean, like I was saying, as you can imagine, even with that double jack technique, I mean, that 5-foot hole is still gonna take forever. Now, if you're working around the clock, in a 24-hour period all day long, you might get a single 5-foot hole in this wall. Mind you, we need 12 of these holes. So, with the invention of the pneumatic drill, this bad boy right here, now this was an absolute game changer. Now, instead of taking that same day or longer to get a single 5-foot hole in this wall, this drill could drill a 5-foot hole in about 5 minutes.
Oh.
And so it just absolutely changed the game, really sped things up. But now there was a downside to it. So like, all right, gold's fast, 5-foot hole in 5 minutes, but we also have to remember we're going into straight rock. And that rock gets displaced. That rock obviously has to go somewhere. So I mean, any guess on what that rock is going to turn into?
Dust.
Right. The rock turns into dust. Pop this off real quick. Either of you guys want to do the honors? You want to work it? All right, I'll do my job. All right, so guys, now I will say, once this pops off, it is loud. I would highly recommend everybody plug their ears. Do not want hearing like I have. Right? Exactly. All right. So, that is what these guys were working with.
So that does 5 feet in an hour.
5 minutes.
About 5 minutes, yeah.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah. Well, so now with that said, the bit that I have on here is completely flat and blunt. I do not want a working bit in here or else we'd have some problems. But yeah, so about 5 feet in 5 minutes. All right, but no, so like I was saying, guys, a lot of times they'd have 3 or 4 of these going off in the same exact area at the same exact time. Once again, no hearing protection either, so a lot of people back then, pretty hard of hearing to say the very least. All right, we can still hear, right?
Yeah.
All right, right on this way. Feel free to walk on back there, check it out if you'd like. But while we're looking at this first collapse, I will really show you why it's so important to constantly reinforce all these timber sets down here, because that is exactly what's going to happen if you don't. It's also kind of why we're considered to be a working mine, not necessarily an active mine. Those are 2 classifications. So we're a working mine because we constantly have to work to reinforce all these timber sets down here. We're not an active mine because we don't actively take anything out for profit. That's just kind of an easy way to remember that. Now, while we're down in this area here specifically, we'll also notice a couple different types of timber sets. Some are circular, some are square.